Hey everyone, how are we doing today? Sorry it's been so long since I've actually done a video. I just, work's been busy. The kids keep me busy. It's just been a really busy few weeks. So, also, I just haven't thought about doing it. It kind of, that's just kind of like the part of the Christian life. Sometimes it feels like you're running in spurts and you just kind of do this. And then sometimes you have one of those uphill climbs, you're going real good, and sometimes you just crash and burn. And I probably had one of those moments, but either way, we're back. We're doing these videos, trying to do this. Hey Matt, happy Father's Day to you, man. Trying to do these videos, I make up every excuse in the world not to do a video. I'm too tired, I'm worn out, or I'm busy, or, I might be busy at certain points of the day, but you know what? I can always make time for God's word, and we should all always make time for God's word. So I had to stop making excuses and just get back in it. Plus, I haven't finished Judges, and we've only got 3 chapters left. And I'm like stopped right there. So we're going to finish this dadgum thing out. And we're going to do it. Okay. So today we're in Judges chapter 19. The last video I did was on chapter 18. Sorry, I'm not going to do a recap for you. But we're talking about all the judges that were in Israel. And now we're in chapter 19. So you'll just have to do some reading. So here, chapter 19 is kind of an ugly chapter to read. It's not something fun to read. When you're really focusing on what this chapter has to say, it's really not the best thing to listen to and to read in your own mind. But I wanted to go ahead and just point out some things that I saw, some things that I've talked with my pastor about, other things, in the Old Testament, and just kind of let you guys know what I found in here, what really stuck out to me. And so again, we're in chapter 19, and I'm going to read the first, probably the first 4 verses, and then we'll go from there. So here we go. And it came to pass in those days, when there was no king in Israel, that there was a certain Levite sojourning on the side of Mount Ephraim, who took to him a concubine out of Bethlehem, Judah. And his concubine played the whore against him, and went away from him unto her father's house to Bethlehem, Judah, and was there 4 whole months. And her husband arose and went after her, and speak friendly unto her, and to bring her again, having his servant with him, and a couple of donkeys. And she brought him into her father's house. And when the father of the damsel saw him, he rejoiced to meet him. And his father-in-law, the damsel's father, retained him, and he abode with him 3 days. So they did eat and drink and lodged there. So basically, you kind of get the gist of what this girl is and what she did. She's getting away from him. And this concubine's dude came chasing after her, right? So basically all the way up until verse 22, he's trying to get her to come with him, and he keeps trying to leave, but the father of the damsel won't let him go. Things like that. All right, so here we are, chapter 19, verse 22. And I'm going to start back up because this is where it gets a little hairy and it gets a little hard to listen to. Now as they were making their hearts merry, and behold, the men of the city, certain sons of Belial, beset the house round about. Eventually the damsel's husband got away with her, and came to this city, into this house. And certain sons of Belial beset the house round about, and beat at the door, and spake to the master of the house of the old man, saying, Bring forth the man that came into thine house, that we may know him. And the man, the master of the house, went out unto them, and said unto them, Nay, my brethren, nay, I pray you, do not so wickedly, seeing that this man is come into mine house, do not this folly. Behold, here is my daughter, a maiden, and his concubine. Them I will bring out now, and humble them, and humble ye them, and do with them what seemeth good unto you. But unto this man do no so vile thing. But the men would not hearken to him. So the man took his concubine, brought her forth unto them, and they knew her and abused her all the night until the morning. And when the day began to spring, they let her go. Then came the woman in the dawning of the day, and fell down at the door of the man's house where her Lord was, till it was light. And her Lord rose up in the morning, and opened the doors of the house, and went out to go his way. And behold, the woman, his concubine, was fallen down at the door of the house, and her hands were upon the threshold. And he said unto her, Up, and let us be going. But none answered. Then the man took her up upon a donkey, and the man rose up and gat him into this place. And when he was come into his house, he took a knife and laid hold on his concubine, and divided her together with her bones into 12 pieces, and sent her into all the coasts of Israel. And it was so that all that saw it said, there was no such deed done nor seen from the day that the children of Israel came up out of the land of Egypt. Unto this day consider of it, take advice, and speak your minds. So that's hard to read, and it's hard to understand why God would want us to know something like that. And and it's not that God condones this kind of behavior, but he lets things like this be recorded in the Bible for the purpose of showing us that people have never changed. People aren't any different, and that people are still this way today, right? We still have things like this happening, and they probably happen even more regularly now than back then. But it just shows us that when we go to try and learn lessons from the Bible, this is why we should always read our Bible, is because people in the Bible aren't different from us, okay, right? They're still sinners. They're still, they still make mistakes. They still, live their lives as if God doesn't exist. They still, like in this particular instance, rape still happens, right? And we still have, there's so many stories out there. Sorry. There's so many stories out there that, there's these serial killers, and they murdered women, and they maimed these women. And, it happens to women, children, men. This story ain't so different from the world we live in now. So, it's like I was asking my pastor, it's like, why do we read these things? Like, why do we even talk about these things? And the simple answer is that it's really just to show us that people aren't as different now, so we can really, really relate as humans, as Christians, as people. We can really relate to these people in the Bible. They struggled too. They lived a life of sin. They lived around people with a life of sin. So we should take a hard look at ourselves and say, if they can do it, if people in the Bible can really live a Christian-filled, Spirit-filled life in that kind of an environment, I think we all could too, So that's what I gathered from it, and I hope you guys got something out of that too. And hopefully I'm gonna be back tomorrow and do chapter 20. So thanks guys for joining. Thanks for watching, and we'll see y'all later.